Good morning, everybody. May 18th, Tuesday. I'm getting this done a little bit early because I've got to head off. I have a session today with my friend Larry King, not that Larry King, the other Larry, this Larry King. I'm not sure who else is on. I think Vinny Colaiuta is playing drums today, so that'll be really thrilling to be back playing with Vinny. And I might do a little filming at this studio, a different studio than last time. So I'm getting this done. Going to feed the pups, and then I'm going to hit the highway. I got my gear all sitting ready to go, and it's going to be fun. And Nico Bolas, I believe, is engineering today, who does our immediate family engineering and mixing. So it'll be great to see Neeks, and like that. So off and running. So I was thinking about different artists once again, and I came upon a project that was really a crazy fun project. Tanya Tucker. This is an album called Should I Do It, back from 1981. This was, it was kind of intense because this was the height of her time with Glenn Campbell. And they were a pretty volatile couple. So there was some pretty crazy stuff went on in the studio. But it was really fun. But I wrote a bunch of CNs for this project, and she's really lived kind of an incredible life. So it's actually, if you're interested at all, Google Tanya Tucker up, because it's really amazing. I mean, on these notes, she told her dad she wanted to be a country singer at 8 years old. And at 13, she had her first hit in 1972. And she became one of those wunderkind young artists. I mean, now you watch all these shows like America's Got Talent and all that stuff. And these kids come up to sing and they go, "How old are you?" And they go, "No, I'm one." It's really, but it was really unusual that Tanya had this hit at 13 years old. It was, and when she recorded, one of her biggest hits was Delta Dawn, and that was really a kind of a game changer for her. And she was originally signed by Billy Sherrill to Columbia Records, and she had a lot of accolades, a string of charted songs during that period. But then she left Columbia and signed with MCA in 1975. In 78, according to like the stories on this, she really looked for a new direction. She was maturing and all, and she really wanted to go more kind of, maybe more into a rock image. And it worked for a bit, but by the 80s, it said her career had started to fade a bit. And she had a string of people she was dating at that time. She dated Merle Haggard, who was 21 years older than her at the time, Don Johnson, Miami Vice and all that, Andy Gibb, and then finally Glenn Campbell. But she had a tumultuous life and finally went, I think, to the Betty Ford Center and cleaned up and moved to Nashville. And then in 1986, she signed with Capitol Records. And she was really more defining like pop country early on with that, where there was more incorporating pop and rock and roll into the country idiom. Rolling Stone magazine called her one of the 100 top, the greatest country artists. And she kind of defined that early on, the image of outlaw, especially for women, because you always had the Johnny Cash and the Waylon Jennings, and these guys were the outlaws. Well, she was kind of their female equivalent of an outlaw. And she's still at it. I mean, when you really look at what's happened in the past number of years, it's really been a roller coaster ride for her. I mean, serious ups and downs and back and forth. But she's tenacious and she's good. But we had really fun. We recorded the album at Sound Lab Studios, which was Armin Steiner's studio, and I did a lot of projects I've talked about came out of Sound Labs. And Gary Klein produced the album with her, who I did a number of albums with, and James Arias was the engineer on it. But I'm going to go ahead and play a couple of songs here and talk about it. This first one I'm going to do is called Halfway to Heaven. And the band on this one is myself on bass, Rick Schlosser on drums, he had a stint with James Taylor's band for a while. We went to Montserrat together and recorded with James down in the West Indies and all kinds of stuff. Rick's a fine drummer. I think he's living in Mexico now. I think he moved to Mexico. Buzzy Featon on guitar, Fred Tackett from Little Feat on guitar, Jay Winding on piano on this, and not bad background singers, Emmylou Harris and Herb Peterson on this. So here's Halfway to Heaven, Tanya Tucker on the Should I Do It album. So here we go. You know that's true. Country. Just sitting here thinking about Sound Labs and all the projects. I've talked about it before. That was where we did Diana Ross's theme to Mahogany. That's where we played with the Dodgers after they won the World Series. All kinds of projects there. And Armin Steiner, who had the studio, it was his studio, was really a great film engineer. I did a lot of movie projects down at 20th Century Fox, and Armin would be the engineer on those. Man, guy really knew that, man. It was an amazing cat. Okay, let me see what this one is. This is called Heartache number 3, and this is myself, Rick Schlosser, Dean Parks, of course. God, everything I've ever done, there's Dean right there. I was so glad he came and visited the clubhouse the other day. Lee Rittenauer on guitar, also Jay Winding on keys, and Emmy Lou and Herb again on background vocals. This is Heartache number 3.
What's an angel like you doing way down here? Looking right through me like a crystal chandelier. I've been so lonely, but I tried not to show it. I need someone so bad, and boy, I know you know it. Oh Lord, help me, here I go again. I gotta admit, this is so more fun than just being friends. I can't help it, baby, you look so good to me. It's 2 down and I'm on my way. Heartache number 3. Yeah. Takes longer every time for this old heart to mend. Will you love me forever or break it again? I know the truth lies way down under the surface. I'm already gone, and boy, I hope you're worth it. Oh Lord, help me, here I go again. I gotta admit, this is so more fun than just being a friend. I can't help it, baby, you look so good to me. It's 2 down and I'm on my way. Heartache number 3. I can't help it, baby, you look so good to me. It's 2 down and I'm on my way. Heartache number 3. Well, it's 2 down and I'm on my way. Heartache number 3. Heartache number 3.
Simple little ditty. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got here? Oh, this is really fine horn section on this one. This is called I Oughta Let Go. And this, again, myself and Rick Schlosser and Jay Winding and Buzzy Featon and Fred Tackett. But the horn section on this is Jim Horn, Jerry Hay, Chuck Finley, Andrew Love, and James Mitchell. I mean, worked with Jim Horn so much from the very early days. He played on our section album, one of our section albums. Jerry Hay has been like one of the premier trumpet players. He and Chuck Finley are like been top of the heap in this town. They're just fabulous musicians. So here we go. This is called I Oughta Let Go. Different vibe.
Oughta be shocked, thinking that you could love me. Oughta be hung, keeping up my hopes. I got to be crazy, thinking that it could work out. Oughta know better, oughta let go. It's only Monday, and my heart's already broken. I had a feeling it was gonna be different this time. You were just talking and going through the motion.
Tough
You
little
had no
cookie.
intentions of backing up your line. I oughta be shocked, thinking that you could love me. I oughta be hung, keeping up my hopes. I got to be crazy, thinking that it could work out. Yeah, I ought to know better. I ought to let go. Oh. Ought to be home, keeping up my hopes. I got to be crazy, thinking that it could work out. Ought to know better, ought to let go. Ought to be shot, thinking that you could love me. Ought to be home, keeping up my hopes. I got to be crazy, thinking that it could work out. Ought to know better.
I would have mixed horns much higher, but that might also be the YouTube, the way it comes out of here. YouTube is not high fidelity, like sitting there listening to an album through a good system. But I always kind of go, oh God, I don't remember it being quite that low. But that's that. Also, the background singers on her album were Ron Hicklin, John Baylor, Debbie Hall, Jerry Whitman, and Sandy Hall Brooks. I think everybody deserves some credit on these things. One more tune, then I've got to get going and get ready to go to work, feed the pups, and take care of a bunch of stuff here. So this is called Rodeo Girls. Let me see. Let's see. I don't think I marked down anything on this one. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to grab something else here. Hold on one second while I whips this out. Should I Do It is the name of this track. And on this one, it's myself and Rick Schlosser, Lee Rittenauer, Buzzy Featon, and Fred Tackett all on guitars, Jay Winding on keys, and also Bill Cuomo. Now, I was talking about Bill the other day because he was real involved with Kim Carnes on her projects and stuff. And again, this is the same horn section: Jim Horn, Chuck Finley, Jerry Hay, Andrew Love, and James Mitchell. So this is Tanya Tucker's album, Should I Do It, from 1981. And if you get a chance, though, if you're interested, Google her up, because it's really a very convoluted, incredible life of ups and downs. It really shows you this isn't just like, oh, you get started, have a big hit, and everything's perfect. This really is an example of the ups and downs that this music business can have. But this is also one of those people who's a complete survivor, and pretty amazing. So here is Should I Do It? Yeah.
I swore when it hurt me so I wouldn't see anymore. But today he called my name. I can feel the same old flame. Should I do it? Should I fall? Should I do it after all? Is it crazy? Is it right? I really wanna love you tonight. Should I do it? Should I play? Can I help it anyway? When I feel it, I hold me tight. I'm gonna turn on the light. I know when we're in his car, I couldn't go just so far. I wanna give him everything, yeah. So when I hear that telephone ring, yeah. Should I do it? Should I fall? Should I do it after all? Is it crazy? Is it right? I really wanna love you tonight. Oh, I'm so lonely, and he's so fine. Maybe I should swallow my pride just one more time. Should I do it? Should I fall? Should I do it after all? Is it crazy? Is it right? I really wanna love you tonight. Should I do it?
Yeah.
Should I play? Can I help it anyway? When I feel it, I hold me tight.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice way to end Tanya today. I got to get going. I'm going to get my doggies fed, and I'm going to pack up my equipment and head off to the studio to play some incredible hard rock and roll, a lot of eighth notes today from what I've heard of the tunes. So it's going to be a fun day, but I'll try to do a little filming down there and see what I come up with, and see who else is there. So have a fabulous day. Week is, just getting started here. I'm just looking at the date, thinking tomorrow would have been my dad's birthday. I miss him. Yeah, it's weird. Still weird. When you lose those folks, it's a gaping hole in your life. But they had a long, long life. So, okay. So that's that. Check out Tanya, and I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll see what we come up with then. And excited about seeing the band later this on Thursday. We're going to review the songs we're going to be doing next week in the studio, so excited about that. And that's it. So take a second, put out a little heartfelt thank you to everybody out there still taking care of stuff while this pandemic still is going on. And we're getting better here, but boy, around the world, there's still some serious stuff that has to be addressed. And when you're dealing with the potential for touring, we're talking about doing, when you're on the road, a lot of times it's global touring. So every place has to be healed before we can really go to a great many of them. So here's hoping. So all my best wishes to everybody. You take good care, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.